We're on the Bourke farm in Racool in Bantier. We're going to look at a double robot ABC grazing system here. So let's take a look inside. So thank you very much Seamus and James for taking us on a tour of your farm today. Very impressive setup you have here.
Thank you.
2 DeLaval robots, room for one more, built into the existing winter housing. So is it a free access when they're indoors and then control traffic when they're going to grass?
Yeah, so for this year it was free access, but we hope to go free access with pre-selection next year. That's the hope. We'll use the post robot gate to actually pre-select into the waiting area when indoors full time, and it'll be free access when out by day and by night.
So just a little bit of a background to the farm. You're milking all year round and autumn calving as well?
Yeah, we calve about 15 cows in the autumn, thereabouts. And yeah, we've a high production, high input, high output system really. Yeah.
I noticed there's some quite large cows there going through the system, all right. Say large cows, small cows, it doesn't make a difference much to the robot anyway, it'll milk them all?
No, like you can adjust the trough, we'll say, you can see there even the cow and robot one there, the trough is back a little bit, so just the first time you're milking you adjust the trough, and big cow, small cow, it doesn't matter, you're away. But we do tend to like a bigger cow that can sustain herself for high milk and high solids, we'll say, yeah.
So she wouldn't be the typical high EBI animal, she'd be more highly bred for higher yield?
You'll be talking the vast majority, it's only 10% of the herd have Friesian in them, the rest of them are pure Holstein. We'd be feeding anywhere, depending on feed price, you'd be talking feeding 1.8 to 2.2 tons of concentrates a year. For 690 solids. That was until we started building up the herd. It's gone down to 650 now, but we hope in the next 2 to 3 years to get back up to the 700 mark. That was the aim before we started building, and
very impressive.
Hopefully we get back there again.
And you're only milking with the robots now a couple of months, but have you seen any change with the milk yields compared to, say, the old previous parlour versus the robots?
Yeah. Butterfats are superb. I suppose that's maybe better feeding. So we've 2 feeds going into the robots, so they get a standard 2 kg feed rate. Every cow gets it, and that's, we call it the mineral carrier nut. And then after that, they get feed yield in. There's 4 different feed curves depending on the time in their lactation, and that's running at about 10% fibre and has really helped the butterfats. And we'd have historically lowish butterfats. We're averaging about 3.91 for the year butterfat. It comes with the litres, of course. But
today the butterfat is higher than the
we're averaging higher than, we'll say, our full lactation. Our tank has been running higher the whole way through. We've never, as the fancy term, we have beaten the drop, we'll say, if you're to use the all-tech term, we'll say.
And you're putting that down to just tailoring the feeding to the right
Tailoring
cows.
the feeding and milking more often as well.
That's pressure on the udder.
Exactly. And it has given the...
What about the gentle handling of the milk?
Yeah, I suppose you could say the milk is being handled more gentle in the robot than, we'll say, we had a 12-unit Dairy Master herringbone. And you can, not that you can see the milk in the robot, like, but you can actually... You know that the milk is being handled more gently, and there's less butterfat losses, we'll say, butterfat destruction. The best of the cows have got a fantastic chance. I think they're performing far better. The good cows have become great cows. The cow she milked about an hour ago there, I just saw her passing by. She's doing more protein now on peak than she did for her entire lactation. She averaged for her lactation, she's doing 4% protein at 46 litres. So she's an excellent cow. She did 815 kilos of solids there. She's a fabulous cow.
For such a highly bred, high-yielding cow, I'd imagine sometimes it's hard to find customers for such an animal down in this neck of the woods where kind of EBI would be more of the focus. Oftentimes we find farmers that use the GrassTech livestock sourcing module. They love the fact that it's tailoring the correct customer to come and view their stock.
Yeah.
It's not like when you're going on Dundeel and putting your animals on, you're getting 100 different phone calls from people that don't really know what they're buying, you know? You're getting a farmer into the yard that knows the kind of animal that you have, and they appreciate that fact too, you know?
The selling the market probably isn't the done thing with our type of cow. You just don't get the money really out of them. We have repeat customers for young stock. Not that we've sold too many in the last while we're building up numbers, but we do have repeat customers for our young stock. Like.
And I'd imagine a lot of them probably go north of the border as well. Indoor systems.
They would, yeah.
So maybe we'll have a look at the equipment up here. We've got the buffer tank here for the milk silo outside.
Yeah, it was something we didn't put in at the very start. And we fairly quickly realised that it is essential. You'd probably get away without having one if the milk was being collected in the middle of the night, but we're collected between 8 and 10 every morning, and that's the busiest period by far for the robot. So it's essential then, you just have too much of a backlog and it kind of messes up the day. So we were very lucky. We actually bought that second hand through DeLaval. We were delighted with that. And then we've water treatment there.
Just a water softener?
Just a water softener with nothing more, only just to soften the water with nothing else in the water. So we're lucky that way.
And then a pressurised unit here just to make sure you always have constant pressure on the robot?
Yeah, we'll say that's just the storage tank, and the pressurizer is downstairs. And that's essential, we'll say, as well. If there was anyone interested in putting in robots that call, I think it's essential. You can turn off the water and, we'll say, fix the truck or whatever, and you know the robots are never going to run out of water, like, you know. We have a heat recovery unit then.
And just storage water for maybe from the plate cooler for washing down yards?
Yeah, and you can see there's a pressurised washer there on top of it then.
And the water in the heat recovery unit is usually on 40 degrees. So when that goes to the gas, it's already 40 degrees.
You've already broken the back on the heating.
Exactly. The most energy is used when it's at its coldest, like, and you need cow numbers going through the robots for it to work. You nearly want to be up at over 100 cows for it to actually start recovering heat. Other than that, it's
once it started, then it's rolling.
Yeah, we've never not had hot water basically, you know.
The water softeners are a must really for the robotic systems, where you don't want valves and things seizing up with limescale and.
Yeah, most definitely. Probably you could call it a hidden cost if you want, but it's essential. So you have to go over it, like, you know.
And like, we're not treating the water for anything else, only just softening the water. So we're very lucky that way.
It was about 400 parts per million, so it badly needs to be treated, really.
And you can just tailor that water specifically to service the robots. All the water trucks and all of the other services can be just standard water.
Exactly, yeah. It's literally what cold water the robots require and what goes into the heaters is softened. It's very easy to keep on top of how much salt to put into the softener. Every time you top up the oil and the vacuum pumps, you need to put in a bag. It's very easy.
The layout is very impressive here. You've got your waiting area with the cow brush and the gate for angling cows into the robot. You've got your checkout style. Then you've got your drafting and your isolation area, and in the future you're going to have a calving area to the left here.
No, we're actually going to put in a row of cubicles up there. It'll be done for this winter, and it's just for freshly calved cows will be there, and there'll be feeding space up along the shed.
Oh, so they'll have direct access to the robot and back into where they came from?
Yeah. So Don't is actually to suggest that we should have 2 isolation areas, because it doesn't make sense. We say a cow that has mastitis being
put in with a fresh
calf, an open cow with maybe, if she's suffering from small bit of subclinical milk fever, her T canals are open. You know, so that was the thinking behind it. It's not done yet, but it will be operational for next spring anyway.
So in the winter time then, the cows come in off the feed barrier here and then they're into the pre-milking yard?
Yeah, they come in through the non-return gate there, and as I said there, next year we hope to reuse that, or not reuse the post-milking three-way gate for pre-selection. So there'll be two flows of traffic into it basically. And you can see beyond the wall there, that's our buffer feeding area for the robots. So as you know, the spring grass was pretty tight, so we were feeding there. We were actually just feeding whole maize. We got a bit sick of the diet feeding whole maize, and we found it very good actually. They don't fill up on the whole maize. They eat their 5 or 6 kilos of dry matter, and they're not full going out and go out and lie down. They actually go out and they start grazing in, don't they?
They just never eat too much of the maize. But we would bale silage in.
And they were tending to linger with that, alright.
Yeah, but that was helping the butterfat more than the maize.
Yeah. We'd say when the grass was kind of
very dry and
waxy, you know, the purple waxy coat, we had to pull the maize because that was really hitting our butterfat. And we put in bale silage in, and there was a lot of lingering and cows that were going out and weren't really eating, but it was better than a massive drop in butterfat.
Especially when we were so tight in grass. Anyway.
Yeah.
So for an established herd here, how did you find the startup then when you were training cows to a completely new system?
Yeah, it's a lot of hard work. It's 3 months of hard work, but we'll say over the lifetime of a machine, 3 months of hard work, of very hard work, is nothing compared to the benefit we will see. We're even seeing now, we have the first cut 2 weeks, and it is great to be able to just get onto the tractor first thing in the morning, and you know, it doesn't take 2 weeks to get the slurry out. You know, you see it's small little benefits. You see things like that, but I suppose we came at it from a cow welfare point of view too, and it's definitely harder than at the start. It would be harder than any animal at the start, but
next year now we've only something over 24 or 5 heifers.
What's your strategy so for training the heifers? Are you going to run them with the cows for a few weeks before they calve?
No, I don't. I'd say we go cold turkey.
Yeah.
It worked. Well, it was hard work, but it worked this year, and I don't think we'll be.
The numbers, when the numbers are so diluted down, the number of new heifers compared to established cows, they just follow them, you know, and you know the heifers are very good to learn. They're very quick to learn.
Yeah, the heifers really made the training to the grazing. The heifers will come in out the paddock. I suppose they don't have the capacity in the others, so they need to be milked more often. They'll bring in a few cows with them, and you know yourself, they're more intuitive. They'll go through gates, they'll test out gates that they're not meant to test out. But they figure out the system and they bring on the cows. We'll say if you started an established herd at the end of the year, I think it'd be quite hard. Whereas we were lucky we started it in the spring as the cows calve, and the heifers helped them. But definitely, if it was nothing but heifers, it would have been an awful lot easier for definite. Bar the bit of kicking and bucking at the start. Other than that.
For my own herd there, I started off with all heifers, and I found the kicking in the robot was quite difficult to deal with.
Yeah.
But the heifers learned the grazeway gates a lot quicker than the cows I bought.
Most definitely. Even we actually, it's about the one little modification we've made to the robot since it came. We've actually put matting, rubber matting, just behind the cow's back legs.
Oh, yeah.
There's a sheet of stainless steel, and it acts like a bit of a drum. When they start kicking, they'll keep going, whereas this just deadens the sound, and there's an awful lot less. You know, they're not kicking for the sake of making noise, we'll say then.
The building here seems to be erected to high standards. I love the grooving here on the concrete. Makes things very nice and grippy for the cows.
Yeah, it's excellent. To be honest, we didn't even ask for it to be done. It was just done. The O'Keefe brothers in Bantier did the shed for us. They do steel and concrete work, so you know, you're not matching up the shed erector and concrete people. So it was very valuable to us because we had a tight enough time frame, really. Like.
So they built the new unit and welded it into the existing structure.
Exactly.
Then as
well. Yeah. So
very tasty concrete work, all right. And
it's very well done. No, we're very happy with it. So we put on 2 industrial bays, 2 6.2 meter bays. We'll say onto the existing A-frame. We brought this is completely new. We'll say this is completely separate. It's about 40 foot wide and 3 standard bays. Then we've 12 bays of a 22 foot wide shed in just for extra cubicle capacity, and extend the carforce a small bit to help with the increase in numbers.
Okay. And steel cladding on the sides, but not vented, and you've fibre cement on the roof then?
Yeah, fibre cement on the roof. Yeah, we're very happy with it. It was in the original part of the shed. We're very happy with it. We wouldn't change.
No drip or anything like that then?
No, nothing massive anyway.
Very good. Okay.